Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
Another Catholic priest and seminarian have been kidnapped in Nigeria, Africa. In north-central Nigeria, a missionary priest, Father Paul Sanogo, was kidnapped, alongside a seminarian, named Dominic Marikiri Mahinini, from the parish of St. Luke Jayedna, in Niger State's Pekoro government area. Father Sanogo is a citizen of Mali and a seminarian, Dominic, a Tanzanian national. On August 3, bandits entered, firing into the air, from the parish residence, and removed the priest and the seminarian. The Bishop of Minna, Martins Igwe Ezekwu, sent a memo to all the parishes in Niger State, inviting the faithful to pray for the abducted. On behalf of my auxiliary Monsignor Sylvester Luca Gopep, the priests and the members of religious orders in the Catholic Diocese of Minna, I ask you to pray for Father Paul Sanogo, missionary of Africa, and the seminarian, Melchior, who were taken by bandits in the early hours of August 3, 2023, at the priest's residence in Jayedna, in Niger State, the memo read. It was noted that, in confirming the double kidnapping, a police spokesperson also claimed that other seminarians in the area have been advised to temporarily relocate while the search for the two abducted persons is ongoing. Bishop Mola continued, "Let us ask God to listen to our prayers and save them from any danger and bring them back in peace, light and complete freedom." A historic Catholic church in Missouri is destroyed by fire after lightning strike. The parish Facebook said, on August 1, shortly after 4 a.m. in the morning, the chapel was struck by lightning and caught fire. Fire departments were dispatched, but unfortunately when they arrived there was nothing they could do to save it. Due to the heat from the fire, there is also melted siding on the community center. Bishop Sean McKnight wrote, "It is with a heavy heart that I share a bolt of lightning struck the bell tower of St. John the Evangelist early yesterday morning, and the church burned to the ground." Bishop McKnight continued, "Built in 1883, the chapel community of St. John and St. Vincent de Paul Parish has a long-standing, faith-filled history in Bonner. The flames may have consumed the physical structure, but they cannot destroy the spirit and resilience that have defined the chapel community of St. John and St. Vincent de Paul Parish for years. We must remember that a church is not just a physical building, it is the people who gather within its walls." A Catholic priest, Father Bolmax Pereira, in Goa, India, was arrested for saying that a king was not God. Father Bolmax Pereira, the parish priest of St. Francis Xavier Church in Goa, India, was arrested for saying that a king was not God. A court in India's west coast state of Goa has postponed the hearing of an anticipatory bail application of a Catholic priest, who was accused of insulting a 17th-century Hindu king. On August 4, police filed a case against the priest for allegedly saying during a sermon that Shivaji Maharaj, a warrior king, was not God. During the hearing on August 7, Father Pereira sought interim relief to avoid arrest, but the judge at the Margao local court denied his request. The police sought more time to file their reply, leading to the adjournment. The priest has been accused of defiling a place of worship with intent to insult a religion, besides intentional insult to provoke a breach of peace. At least 2 other complaints have also been filed against him in 2 other police stations in the state. Pereira has already submitted an apology, saying his statement on the king was taken out of context and misinterpreted. He regrets the controversy surrounding his remark and the misunderstanding that arose due to it. Shivaji Maharaj was the founder of the Maratha Empire in western India. His defeat of Muslim contemporaries is often portrayed by India's pro-Hindu political parties, including the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, which rules in Goa, as a victory of Hindus over Muslims. A video of the priest's sermon went viral on social media last week. It showed him saying, "Chhatrapati Shivaji cannot be considered a god." Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant said action would be taken against the priest as per law. Father Pereira said that he was shocked to learn that his sermon was selectively taken out of context. The purpose and intent of making a mention of the great national hero and the valiant warrior during the sermon was to tell devotees and viewers that Shivaji Maharaj was revered by people across the country and abroad, cutting across religions, castes, creed, and languages, he said. If any individual or organization has been hurt due to this episode and misunderstanding, I express my deepest regret, the priest said. On August 4th, hundreds of Bajrang Dal workers marched to the police station, demanding the priest's arrest. Goa Forward Party legislator Vijay Sardesai said that the matter should be settled as the priest has already submitted an apology. Unknown perpetrators stole a monstrance with a consecrated host from the parish church of Fulda, Hesse, Germany. This was reported by the Fuldaer Zeitung. The theft was committed between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. on July 28. The monstrance was in the adoration room of the parish church in a closed tabernacle on the altar. In order to get to the monstrance, the perpetrator or perpetrators smashed a pane of glass, reported a police spokesman. The monstrance has a value of €400, said the city pastor Stefan Bus to the Fuldaer Zeitung. In particular, what shocked us the most was the ruthlessness and disrespect towards our religion and ultimately, towards God. Obviously, the theft of a monstrance, which is not particularly valuable in itself, was worth enough to the perpetrator or perpetrators to desecrate the Holy of Holies and thus, hurt the religious feelings of an entire religious community, explained Bus when asked by the newspaper. The question arises as to what such perpetrators still have respect and reverence for, he noted. The bulletproof glass is to be replaced, an alarm system is being considered, announced the city's pastor. According to German law, the act is a particularly serious case of theft, since the stolen item is used for religious worship and was stolen from a church. This explained Dr. Shimon Mazer, spokesman for the parish council of the inner-city parish, who works as a judge in Fulda. The parish church and the worship room are open all day. There is no surveillance camera and there shouldn't be one. The worship area is a place of silence, and a surveillance camera would be perceived as a disturbance by believers, Mazer said. Wildfires in Maui, Hawaii, USA, from August 8 to 9, have devastated the area and left 55 people dead and thousands displaced. Over 1,000 buildings have been destroyed in what people are calling an apocalyptic event. President Biden declared a state of emergency and issued a federal major disaster declaration. Pope Francis sent a telegram of prayers and local churches are working together to help the victims. However, one Catholic church that was left standing after fires destroyed the area, Maria Lanakila Church, is going viral as a possible miracle. Going viral on social media is the image of an intact Catholic church in Lahaina, Maria Lanakila, which means Our Lady of Victory, that survived the fires. As fires raged and destroyed in Maui, in the midst of all the damage stands Maria Lanakila Catholic Church untouched by the fire around it. Sadly, half of the Sacred Hearts Maui School and the religious ed building are gone, and the rectory has been damaged. This is the deadliest fire in the area in history. Please pray for the victims. Pope Francis with 1.5 million people at the World Youth Day closing Mass, says loving like Jesus, that makes us luminous, that makes us do acts of love. After the Mass, during the Angelus, Pope Francis announced the next World Youth Day will be in South Korea. In his homily he said, "But I would also like to tell you something, we do not become bright when we put ourselves under the spotlight, when we display a perfect image and feel strong and successful. But we shine when, by welcoming Jesus, we learn to love as he loved. Loving like Jesus, that makes us luminous, that leads us to do acts of love. Make no mistake, you will be light the day you do acts of love. If instead of doing acts of love, we look inward, selfishly, the light goes out." Later, the Pope said, "Listen to Jesus, every secret is there. You listen to what Jesus tells you. I don't know what he tells me. Grab the gospel and read what Jesus says and what he says in your heart. Because he has words of eternal life for us, he reveals that God as Father, is love. He teaches us the way of love, listen to Jesus. Because, out there we with good will undertake paths that seem to be of love, but ultimately they are selfishness disguised as love. Be careful with selfishness disguised as love. Listen to him, because he is going to tell you what the path of love is. Listen to it."
Watch our programme every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Catholic News World channel. God bless.
Please subscribe to Catholic News World's YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless.